Hey everybody, welcome to the episode of On the Paint Table. This is my show where you see what I've been working on and what is coming up. So what got done this week was a grand total of 8 models painted, which is more than I've painted in a while. As opposed to painting walls, I was painting miniatures. It was a nice break, refreshed some of my urge to get hobby projects done, and I got to have a great day with Mike playing WARCRY and a great day with Jay playing Advanced Fighting Fantasy out of it. So it was well worth the effort, and you guys will see those videos. You've seen at least one of those videos coming up soon. So let's jump in and see what got done and what is coming up. So here are my sweet, sweet looking ogre gorger MAW packs. And this is from the, actually I think it's out today, the Hunter and Hunted box set that I split with Mike, not Epic Duck Mike, but Mike Loudon, Blood Bowl Mike, to paint up to play some WARCRY. We actually ran the whole, I think it was the human half of the campaign with these guys. And I had a lot of fun painting them. I painted them start to finish on Wednesday. Wednesday morning. I built these Wednesday morning, painted them up, and then played some games on Thursday. And this is one of my, I think, favorite things to do. I picked a theme for it, a game and a movie. So I went with, I think, probably what was being, I think, aped here a little bit with these models. A movie called Bone Tomahawk, which has troglodytes, these monstrous sort of cavemen almost, living somewhere in New Mexico in sort of the Great Western Expanse cowboy times, like the early 1800s. And yeah, it's a hardcore movie. Let's definitely have a trigger warning on watching this movie if you don't like blood and guts and violence, but it is definitely what these guys are going for. And so I painted them in a similar sort of tone and color scheme. I used actually I'll do a work in progress Wednesday, I think, on these. I used I think it's Rust-Oleum spray paint for a base coat on them after I built them, and then airbrushed several tones. You can see actually probably best on this, just basic gorger. Several tones over top of the gray mixed with beige, and then went through and actually did all of the, think of this as it's not quite slap chopping it. It's more like get your base tones down, but make sure that areas of it are slightly slap chopped with a nice beige airbrush. I used, I think, White India ink in the final coat to just hit a few of the areas like the bone and the weapons, so that afterwards I could throw in some washes I washed in with a bit of contrast snakebite leather on the bones and the whatchamacallit, all the leather sort of loincloths and stuff, and then finish them up. So I got my clawback done. He's all finished up in the same way. He's the unit leader, and then once the sort of step was done on him, I would move over to the next one. I just did these an assembly line. The Howler, and then 3 gorgers. We got a basic gorger. We got one with a great club. I'll pick them up here so you can see him a bit better actually. That's the great club guy, all done up. And then last but not least, I do with the club. And these 5 is all you need. This is 995 points for WARCRY. And a very fun, different warband to paint. And then when I was done these, I painted up, actually, I think I did it all at the same time. I painted up the Great Maw, which is basically a Zarlak from Star Wars. And I airbrushed it at the same time. So it was the same undercoat of a Rust-Oleum. I think it's called Bronze Oxide. And then some beiges airbrushed over top of it, and then hit with some contrast snakebite, and then some contrast, actually a bit of thinned down Volturnus pink. No, Fulgrim pink? Yeah, whatever the pink contrast paint is. And then just hit with highlights, and then it was all done. So everything all told, I think, it was mostly just drawing time. I probably spent about 3 hours on these, minus assembly, because assembly is usually the longest part, because I hate assembling stuff. I watched several episodes of Shorzy, and got these hammered out over the course of Wednesday, and I was done by 6:30 or 7 in time to, have dinner with the kids, and then go to bed. And I'm super happy with how they turned out. I love painting to a theme, and the Bone Tomahawk theme works really well for this box set, and we had a great time playing through it with the train piece and everything all done. And what's more, they get added to my ogre army. Oh, the tufts were winter tufts and Highland tufts from Army Painter, and that is basalt from Huge Miniatures for my my base and compound there on the bases and stuff too. Yeah, and that was it. So a lot of fun painting these. And also earlier in the week, I painted up some adventurers. This was, so Jay and I could go back to the fighting fantasy world. We decided we were going to dive back in, and this time around I was going to take the role of the adventurer, and Jay was going to take the role of the adventurer. No, I was going to take the role of adventurer, and Jay was going to take the role of the director. I'm going to start this over. And then also this week on Monday, I painted up some adventurers, going back into my pile of Reaper Bones minis that I've yet to paint. I'm getting a little thin though. I hadn't quite the selection I thought I was going to. I decided to paint some stuff up for Advanced Fighting Fantasy. We have Carlisle the Cartographer. He's my hero, and then an as yet unnamed dwarf, because one of the things Advanced Fighting Fantasy brought in was that you could be different races, so you could have dwarves, men, and elves, the classic Tolkien archetype. I didn't finish my elf because I didn't figure we would get to it in time, but I did pick one out, and this is going to be my elf adventurer for the third sort of like installment of when we do this, and I can try and play as each of the different ones. Had a lot of fun playing this, man. I love painting Reaper Bones minis. They're just very characterful, and these guys were just primed basic, I think like dark gray or black, and then painted with, I believe, just like whatever paints were in my paint set. This is a mix of like, I think Army Painter, Citadel, Scale 75. There's a bunch of different stuff in here. And just giving some quick and dirty paint jobs so I get them on the table and go adventuring. But making a map was sort of the joke du jour for my character. So having a little cartographer model was very, very fun, and I liked that he was appropriately attired for adventure with a map and pouches and everything as well. Having a sensible amount of like carrying capacity and just like basic leather armor was what I was looking for in my miniatures, and this one in particular, Carlisle the Cartographer, really suited my vision of what a low-level adventurer would be. These are some of my favorite models from Reaper, actually. They are, I think they're just called followers or henchmen. And they're just great. Like, they're just sensibly dressed adventurers. And so I had a ton of fun painting them up. You can see I just keep them on their bones bases typically, and then just putty around the edge. And then I'll use a little bit of like textured paint to get it looking gritty when it's all said and done. But these are always a joy to paint, and I enjoy having my adventurer collection grow. These guys are going to head into the dungeons shortly, and you'll see that actually next week. So coming up then, after having had such a fun time playing WARCRY and having a little adventure, Mike and I decided we were going to dig into our backlogs. He's going to finish up to continue with like the Hunters and Hunted theme. He's been working on the ghouls from Nightmare Quest, and I was going to start painting the Stormcast to go along with it, as well as the terrain piece, which is the, I think it's called a Sundered Realm Generator or whatever it is, Realm Gate, Realm Pylon, whatever this terrain piece is, that I don't have painted yet for my collection of stuff for WARCRY. And then Mike from Epic Duck Studios is painting up the new Orc Cruel Boys to bring in to do a little review with me and play some games. And that's the Monster Hunters. So this will give us additional, well, it'll let us go through the campaign for the Gorger side of Hunters and Hunted, with the Hunters this time being the Cruel Boys, and the Gorgers being the Hunted and the Cruel Boys being the things being hunted. And he'll be painting that up shortly for us to play some games with, which I'm pretty pumped about, to be honest with you, because, man, a day playing WARCRY reminds me how much I like playing that game. So that's the first thing that's in the coming up pile for next week. And of course, I couldn't be more excited than to paint up some reinforcements. It's a new ITS season for Infinity. It's ITS season 15, and I got reinforcements for two of my major armies here. I'm starting Assassins. Owen's challenge to me is I've never played Assassins, and the Assassin Fireteam pack is out for, or not out, but out soon for Infinity, as well as for my NCA, a reinforcement pack of brand new sculpted bolts, which I'm pumped about, as well as all the new spec op, basically like reinforcement models that'll hopefully be in the main list, but allow me to play some reinforcements going forward. I've also got the Yuching Alpha pack, which is some of the new Yuching, including the Flying Chappie miniatures, which are, I think, going to be hopefully as well like rolled into the main line. Like bolts are already in there, but it's these little like new profiles, obviously, that we're going to see hopefully get, like, I think, play tested over this season and then rolled out. I think that's going to be the new format going forward. But big thanks to CB sending these along. I can't wait to paint them, and I can't wait to paint the Assassins. Jordan and I are going to do a little like I guess the term would be like escalation series of ITS missions using the direct action missions, going forward from like 100 to 150 to 200. Just go through all the escalation missions basically until we get to 300 points. It allows us to paint up some models, and I'm gonna put some ground rules for that together. I'll probably post to my Patreon like what the format will be for doing an escalation league, and it'll let us start our new ITS season armies because we're both pumped to play, and I'm pumped to try an army. Literally the only army in Infinity I've never actually played. I've never played Assassins before. I've played against them 7 million times, or Hack Islam in general. So starting Hack this season it's a big thing for me. It means I'll have played literally every faction in Infinity at this point now. It was the only one on my list of to-dos. And Owen wants me to start with Baram because he thinks that's their greatest hits. But it means I have to find a way to get a Sundic butt because I gave that reinforcement pack to Jordan. So I have to get a Sundic butt somehow before they go into an army box that I don't want to buy. So it is. There's what's coming up. And to round it off, we got for our theme for this week for what's going up on the great clear out of miniatures on eBay. It's going to be Necromunda. Jay and I are going to clean out our Necromunda carrying cases to make some room for newer gangs. And that leads to us having some stuff to get out of here. So this is going to free up some cash for some more audio equipment and to help pay for the whatchamacallit, the soundstage build out back, as well as hopefully another new camera, as I'm experimenting with new cameras that obviously give us a better video quality and are more compact, because in 8 years, you know what happened to cameras? They got smaller and they shoot better. So you can crop in different distances. I'm gonna keep cleaning out cases, and as I dig through stuff, I'm gonna put stuff up to sell. So first things first, my old Goliath warband from the Fnatic era. These were like modular. You could actually change out their hands in metal, and this is a fully painted 2, 4, 6, 8-man Goliath warband with juvies, heavies, and a boss, which is fully playable in today's rules, and ready to basically rock and roll. So if you want to take the Goliaths out, House of Chains style, there's nothing on this warband that I don't believe you couldn't use today, or buy from the trading post. So you should be ready to play some games. And from the same era, we have my Fnatic magazine era of Orlocks. Now there's some original Fnatic stuff in here, so all of the, I think all but a few. So like this is the original gang leader, but I wanted to have an upgraded one, so I converted a Catachan Lieutenant to be my secondary gang leader. We've also got several plastic Catachans in here as like leveled up gangers, because I played this gang quite a bit. But we have all of the classics that came in the 8-man box set, so 2, 4, 6, 8. That's right. So juvies, heavies, as well as some like experienced and leveled up gangers and an alternate boss. Grand total of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 models this time around. My Orlock gang, circa 2003. I can't believe I painted these 20 years ago. I painted them all in like cookie camo. It looked like they were, like veteran guardsmen basically that had come back to Necromunda from the spiders from the Spider Regiment, and had formed a gang around going back to work for House Orlock. So a lot of fun to paint these, and they just, I have 3 Orlock gangs now from 3 different eras of Necromunda. I don't need 3. I'll keep the original, like metal ones, and I'll keep the newer ones. And these in-between Fnatic ones will hopefully go to a new home and get back to Underhive and do some fighting. And then we have the Redeemer, painted circa 2003. This is my paint job for the classic Inferno / Black Library character, and Malakant. They came in a blister, and the reason I'm getting rid of them is these guys I could paint again, and I could put them on new bases and have them in my warband because I have a second one. So I figured they were time to ship on out and lead a revolution somewhere else. If you did need some spiritual guidance in the Underhive, these 2 are ready to provide it, and so they'll be up on eBay as well. And last but not least, we have an Enforcer team from the 2003 Fnatic era, but this is painted by Jay. Now this is but the tip of the iceberg as to what Jay has as far as Enforcer gangs, because this isn't just an Enforcer gang. This one right here is perfect for a Necromunda gang, but he has an entire Adeptus Arbites army, and this one is the one that would make a great gang. There is so much more. I'm going to put it up all individually, but he has all the metal space cops, and now there's plastic space cops, and Jay has vowed never to paint a metal miniature again. These guys are going up on eBay so that he can fund a new hobby project that he wants to start. So I'm going to sell these for him and make sure that it goes towards something else that he'll probably end up doing with me on GMG, but he's very excited about. And there's a whole bunch of listings for these, so go check them out, including some of these. Yeah, baby, it's second edition Street Judges. Look at these guys. We got the judge himself, the long arm of the law, with the fanciest hat. He's an actual judge. We got 3 combat shotguns, and of course a grenade launcher as well. So the full gamut. I think there's some bolter guys in here as well, but you'll see the whole listing. Man, there's a absolute ton of Street Judges in here, enough for an entire Arby's army. And yeah, Jay's got all the riot shields and stuff too. So come check it out, and you can see what we got going on as far as cleaning out our cases and Necromunda stuff. So there it is, a bunch of hobby projects completed, a bunch more on the go, and you can check out, of course, anything that we're clearing out of the studio up on eBay. The link will be in the video description, and that'll be used to fund, of course, the continuing saga of trying to bring the tech level and, I guess, quality level of the studio up to where it should have been 5 years ago, probably. So big thanks for watching. We'll see you for more On the Paint Table. Till then, I'm Ash, at Board Gaming. Hey folks, I hope you enjoyed that video, and thank you for watching. If you want to find out more about me and see what I'm up to, you can check me out on Facebook at facebook.com/outofthebasementintothestreets or Instagram at Guerrilla Miniature Games. You can also find me on Patreon at patreon.com/Guerrilla Miniature Games, and of course, you can now follow on Patreon if you don't want to back and see what's new. Thanks for watching.